Well, hey there, Diet Disruptors. Carrie here, and welcome to another episode of the Diet Disruptors podcast, where we are truly disrupting all things diet industry because we want to become the healthiest versions of ourselves. And today's guest is, I mean, in her mid 50s, she is one of the healthiest people I know. And it's not just because she's a fitness professional, it's not just because she's a nutritionist, it's because she truly embodies a mindset of health. It's who she is. It's not just what she does. And so I asked Nicolle Clay, really truly, who's been in the fitness world for over 25 years, to come on today to talk to us about how, as a very busy person that doesn't have the time or feels they don't have the time to do all the things, how we can still show up for ourselves and crush it. And Nicolle, I'm so excited that you're here because you offer this perspective of understanding what I call all the BS, right? Blood sugar, behavioral science, belief systems, the things that I so deeply believe in and teach my clients in my private practice. And you also really truly understand that spinning plate of exercise and strength training. And I love when you work with your clients how you can integrate both. But the people you work with are literally so incredibly busy that they can't always see you in the gym. They'll come work with you virtually while they're traveling. And so today's episode is going to be so great for this time of the year when people are just so busy. So, Nicolle, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you, Carrie. It is a huge honor to be on here with you. I've known you for a few years, and everything that you stand for, I love. And so I am grateful and honored to be here, part of your podcast.
So great. Nicolle has a thriving business and is really truly a go-to when it comes to all things health. But Nicolle, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself, your story, and how you help people.
Hey, well, first of all, I think I was born to exercise and to love it.
That is literally something I would never say. I exercise, I strength train, but it's like I force myself to do it.
A lot of people do. And so I get that too. Like, it doesn't mean I wake up every day and that's the first thing that I think of is, oh, I can't wait to exercise. But I was active from probably about age 3 or 4. My mom was putting me in sports teams and whatever I could do. And so I did just about every sport, gymnastics and dancing on top of that too. And so it was ingrained in me as a child. So I'm super grateful for that. And actually, had a sister that still does today, but struggled majorly with her weight from about the time she was 5. And so the nutrition was like super on my radar as a child. And that doesn't happen very often, I don't think, but it was very innate with me to really be cognizant of what I was eating. And I think that's probably because of what was going on in my sister's world. And I saw her suffer, I saw pain, and I hurt with her. I actually wished I could switch bodies with her, fix hers, and give it back because
Oh.
my body was healthy and strong, and I watched her suffer. And so that is where it started with me. I'm grateful for good parents that kept me active. And then, unfortunately, my sister's struggles is what drives me. Um, and so as I got older, I was kind of their go-to to ask questions for fitness and nutrition. And I hadn't gotten my degrees yet, but that really drove me to want to learn more. I wanted to be able to teach others, the real thing. Like I wanted to have the true researched answers and be very legitimate in what I was telling them. So that's when I went to school and got my degrees, exercise science and master's in health education, and then continued to certify in other areas. Always wanted to be a personal trainer. I just wanted to know how to change bodies and to help people. And so that's what's driven me. That's what's gotten me to where I am today. And I feel like I'm very empathetic with what people are going through. I've
Yeah.
been through a lot of health struggles, but at the same time, I've seen others in my family as well. And so that drives me. My dad died from a massive heart attack. And so I have a lot of things that have fueled my fire to want to help people be healthy, no matter where they are, no matter what they're doing, no matter what their profession is. There is a way that you can take control of your life and your health and you can be active.
Hmm.
So,
I love that. And Nicolle, first of all, one of the things I love, love, love about you is that with all of your training and all of your knowledge, you have really embraced the PFC3 mindset and lifestyle. PFC3 is the approach that I teach my clients in my private practice. It's what I train health pros to be able to coach. And it's rare. Most health coaches, sorry, I'm like getting all excited here. Most nutritionists, health coaches, personal trainers teach macros and calories, which is dieting in every single way. Even though people will say it's science based, we know that PFC3 allows us to be able to still have the science without the struggle, without the dieting mindset. And one of the things I love about you is you are a personal trainer that embraces that belief system, that approach, and it's rare. So this is why I really wanted you on the show today, because I knew that people needed to hear about a perspective of a personal trainer that really truly does adopt the lifestyle that I am so passionate about teaching. But before we get into that, you have some of your own stories. You've like when I think about you and your background, you've always kind of been into health and into wellness, but almost like thank God you were, because you've hit some big, I don't know, boulders, roadblock barriers in your own health. And you and I have always talked like what would have happened had you not proactively been healthy? So can you tell us a little bit about that?
yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, I get emotional with this. It probably saved my life. I was actively teaching group fitness, training in the weight room, everything, and just hit me. I think it had been, starting sooner than I realized. It started in my muscles, and I had some really alarming things happen just riding in a car and trying to get out and stand up. I could hardly do that. And so, but that kind of came and went and came and went, and it got a little worse. But it really manifested itself when I actually did kind of a fun run obstacle course, and it manifested itself through my skin. And so it was a skin and a muscle disease. It's called dermatomyositis. It's rare because it affects both. But but I remember, I would go to the gym, I would teach and I would train, I'd do my thing, and I'd come home and I could barely walk at night. And I could hardly walk from, the chair to the couch. I remember one day going and teaching a class, and I decided to do an all-step class that day. And I took one step up on my step as the instructor, and it shot pain through my left hip. And I almost buckled to the floor, but I caught myself. I kept going and I faked my way all the way through.
Wow.
We even ran laps, and it was super, super intense. And that same day, I went down after that class and sat in my office, and I thought, I'm going to be in a wheelchair. I would probably within 10 years, I'm going to be in a wheelchair. And it was devastating to me. And so every ache, every little thing that would happen, it would scare me. And so,
And that
um,
just brings in more cortisol to your body, right? Because of the stress.
absolutely. And my
Uh,
husband said, I think you should stop teaching. And I said, no, for one thing, because I loved it. But what I did is I took a look at what I was doing, and I scaled back and dropped a class here, dropped a class there until I found my happy place and what my body could handle. Sure, I
wow.
still had weakness in my quads sometimes, just from sitting or waking up and they're weak, but nothing like that. And so honestly, had I not been doing that, I think because it is a muscle disease, it's a weak muscle weakness that it has been known for people just to drop to the ground because all of a sudden the muscles give out from underneath them. They can't raise their hand to like do their hair and things like that. And I know because my muscles were strong, because I was consistent, and I wasn't crazy about exercising. Like I have been very careful not to over exercise through the years. I've had opportunity to teach a ton of classes, but
Yeah.
I have chosen to keep it, at a minimum to where I'm improving, but I'm not overdoing it. And so
Mhm.
that's the key, being consistent and then really paying attention to how your body's responding to things. And honestly, I think had having that foundation is what has saved me from losing my profession and things that I love in my life.
And it just goes to show how the healthiest version of you, what you do, say, think, and believe, yes, you were showing up for yourself, all of that, but that proactiveness is so important because it hits like what I hear you saying is like when life threw a curveball at you,
Mhm.
because you were healthy, not just in your body, but also really in your mindset, you were like, I can't give up, I can't quit, but I have to adjust, I have to tweak. And to be self aware enough to know how to make those shifts comes with learning who you are over time, becoming healthier. And so I love that. Your why is so strong as to why you do what you do and why you show up for yourself. Today's episode is brought to you by Be Rooted In, a magnesium lotion that also has essential oils in it. And if you are like me, you are going to need it as part of your daily routine because it is that luxurious and that beneficial. Magnesium is actually a mineral that most of us need. And if we're taking a capsule, I hate to tell you, but it's probably not doing what you think it is. When I first talked to my functional nutritionist, she had told me magnesium lotion is the way to go. And I could not find any on the market that weren't greasy or that had ingredients that I felt good about actually absorbing into my skin. And then I met Natalie. I love that she is a fellow female entrepreneur, but Natalie has wrapped her mind, her heart, and her soul all around the benefits of magnesium and why we need it so much. Sleep, stress, pain, so many different functions in our body rely on us having high levels of magnesium. And magnesium lotion is such an amazing way to be able to have it. Her products, which help with sleep or pain or tranquility, because of the essential oils in it and because of the high amount of magnesium, it is an absolutely essential part of my daily routine. And I can't wait for you to try it as well. If you go to my website, carrielupoli.com, go check out my favorite products. Click on the link for magnesium lotion, and I have a special code for you too to be able to get 20% off your first order. I do really am super jealous of you, even though comparison is a thief of all joy, because consistency with exercise is just your thing. You just do it, and I have to like really work to do it. But you work with clients who in nutrition and in fitness that struggle with that and they're very busy. So, given all the skill sets that you have, how teach us, teach me, how do we, as very busy people, really think about the this missing puzzle piece of consistency?
Yeah, I love that question because honestly, it's a mindset. Just like you said, it
Mhm.
everything starts mentally, honestly. And with the dermatomyositis I told you I kept getting worried about every ache and pain. Well, one day I told myself, you don't even have it. The moment I
Ooh.
did that, changed my life. I put it behind me. It went into remission. I'm not kidding. And I have been thriving, ever since. And so mindset is everything. You have to tell yourself, Carrie, you teach this. There's 168 hours in a week. All you have to do is sit down and figure that out. What are your non-negotiables? Okay, you have to go to work. You have to sleep. And exercise is a non-negotiable because a body in motion stays in motion. If not, you don't use it, you lose it. And so keeping that in mind, just look ahead at those that are older than you, that you have relatives and people with health issues, or they're not functioning well, they can't even hardly walk, they're in a wheelchair, whatever. What would be different if they were exercising? Exercise is
Mm.
so important. So you have to find your why for that, first of all, which we've talked about. And then you schedule it in. It's just like scheduling an appointment for a doctor's appointment. You're not going to not show up for it.
Yeah, you're
So
right. Like when I go to the chiropractor, it's like I don't miss it. If I'm
yeah,
like even 2 minutes late, he's like, sorry, can't see you.
yeah,
Literally. So I'm like, oh, and if I can do that 2 days a week, I can easily exercise 2 days a week. I'm in there for 30 minutes, you
yeah.
know? It is true. Okay. So you know how much I love being intentional and time and all of that. But I think what I hear so often from people is like, I don't even know where to start. I know my health is declining. And let's be honest, like as soon as we have any sort of symptoms like cravings, weight gain, fatigue, energy loss, digestion issues, skin issues, and then we move up to cholesterol and blood pressure and prediabetes, insulin resistance. I mean, all of those things are your body's check engine light. And so let's just say, okay, I haven't been like Nicolle. I haven't been healthy necessarily my whole life. I haven't known about blood sugar. I haven't really done exercise. Where do I start? Like, what do I do to be able to start building that momentum? Because the why can be strong, but then it's like analysis paralysis. I even get that way. Nicolle, I swear, I work out with a trainer and I was actually working out this morning and I was like, if I didn't have my trainer, I don't think I would even know what to do. And I have been working out for strength training for decades. And
Right,
I just have, and if I have as much knowledge as I have, the average person is like, I don't even know where to start. And they're likely not necessarily hiring a trainer to get started with it.
right. Exactly. That's excellent because so many people have the all or nothing syndrome, and that's really what it
Mm,
boils down to. I have an aunt that suffers greatly with foods and all kinds of things that just wreck her body, but she tries to exercise. And I was having a discussion with her, and she said, I can't exercise. I can't do it all. Like I'm not consistent all week and whatever. And I said, first of all, how many times are you trying to exercise a week? And she said 5. And I'm like, no. You need to meet yourself where you're at. And I do that with
yes.
clients all the time. What can you realistically commit to? Even if that's one day a week, that's one day that you weren't doing it. And that's
Hmm.
what I really, really promote is what can we do right now? Once you start doing that and you have that down, strong, it's part of your routine, then once we get that 1 or 2 days, then you're feeling good and you can see the benefits from that. Can we do 3 days? Can we do 4? I'm not all about you have to do it every single day of the week. No way. You need recovery. And I know that I have to have recovery.
Hmm.
And one thing that motivates me, I teach classes, so I have to show up and move my body, but I also work out outside of my classes. So I'm better at my profession. I'm better at teaching. I can talk and teach at the same time and have better form. And so when it comes to, clients, even if I could get you to go to a group fitness class, like that in of itself, you don't have to come up with your own ideas. You have a group of
Yes.
that become your friends. But if you were to
Yes.
hire a trainer, that is the best investment you could ever do for yourself, even if it's enough to set you up for a workout routine 2 or 3 times a week. Hire a trainer, have them teach you. I have people that I think are only going to do a few sessions with me that stay with me long term because they realize, wow, there's a lot to this and I can really benefit. And so,
Yeah, I've been
even,
with my trainer for 12 years. Like
yeah,
I can't imagine not working out with him. And I have left and come back. I just know that I have to come back. Nicolle, I love what you're saying right now because you're giving us permission to not have to be in the all or nothing mentality. And I think that's why being a diet disruptor is so important because the diet mentality is all or nothing. It is like if I don't do it perfectly, I might as well not do it. But it's almost like can you imagine if we did that with like parenting? Oh, I can't do it perfectly, so I'm just not going to parent. Oh, I can't do my marriage perfectly, so I'm just not going to marriage. Like I'm just like I just we have this sort of mentality, and I just believe it's around the diet mindset of on or off. And so I love, love, love the permission. 1 day a week. If you're not doing any, 1 day is 100% improvement. And we only
yep.
talk about 1%. I talk about this a lot, and I really want to know where your mindset is on this. I hope it's where mine is, but we'll see. What should somebody be doing? Let's say they're doing 1 day a week. Are they walking? Are they running? Are they strength training? Are they riding a bike? Are they like what are they doing? Ideally, would you want people to?
What you want. I know what I want too. We're on the same page here. We need to be strength training. We need to be working our muscles. That helps with um, bone density, strength. It helps preserve our muscle. And but if you could find a cardio strength type fitness class, that would be great because you're getting weights and movement in at the same time. So of course, we want to have the strength training in and then move our body as well. If you could even just 15 and 15 minutes in the weight room working, even if it's one set of every major muscle group, that's fine. And then get on a machine or go for a walk. But I want you to do it at not just a leisurely pace. You need to pick it up. You need to get the blood flowing.
Mm.
You want to be able to barely carry on a conversation. That's
I
more.
think that's huge, right? I love that litmus test that you can barely have a conversation. But I think
Yeah,
so many times, I just want to like it's a both and, right? It's like I want you to move. I want you to do something. Something is better than nothing. And we get so well, I'm walking, right? Like, well, at least I'm walking. And I'm like, let's not lower the expectations for ourselves because walking is essential. But you
right.
just said it's not even that it helps with bone density. It literally is what you have to do in order to keep your bones from cracking and breaking when you're older. And when you have osteopenia, it can be reversible, but once you have osteoporosis, it's not. And then you're going to be kicking yourself that you didn't do stuff. It's just it's what you said. Like you're really hitting me in this. It's non-negotiable. This isn't a nice to have. It's like saying, I just, I rinse my mouth out with water every day as opposed to brushing your teeth.
Right. That's a
You
good
know,
point. Good
so
analogy.
like the strength training, like I think we're in the same space. Like I want to meet you where you are. And if you're doing nothing, is walking better than doing nothing? Yeah. And you're gonna give yourself, you're just gonna give yourself permission to uh to have low expectations,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like I feel like it's not asking that much to say strengthen your body
Right. I
because
love
it's so important.
Yeah, I love the story that you give of one of the clients that you had that didn't want to exercise at all, and you told her to have it stack. And so while she boiled her tea, you gave her some things to do some squats, do some sit-ups, do some body weight things. Even if you could start there, if you're afraid of a gym, start there, have it stack while you're brushing your teeth, walking in place. Yeah, you're moving a little bit more, but we want you to do more. We want to do at the minimum body weight exercises. But again, if you're afraid of a gym, that's when you just hire a trainer to help you out, even if it's only for a handful of sessions. It is going to be the best investment that you invest in yourself for your life. Like it
Yeah.
is an investment. You can buy an outfit for $150 and you wear it out. But when you get this knowledge, when it comes to, PFC3, when it comes to exercising, when you invest in yourself for that, that is the best money spent for everybody, not just for you, for everybody around you, because you can show up for you and you can show up for your family and other people that need you.
Yeah, I can't I don't understand like the cost of not doing that to me is
Right.
so much more expensive. I actually just had a neighbor he walks every day, all day long. He's retired and he just walks and walks and walks and walks and he has tons and tons of health issues. And he just said to me, I have a $2,000 copay for my medication. And once I hit that, I still have to pay $63 every week for my medication. He goes, you tell your people it's way more expensive to not do it than to do it. He literally just said that to me. So it's funny that you're saying that because I think that this is what we have to recognize. Now, Nicolle, not only so you're local, tell everybody where you are, where you're located and where your gym is.
Yeah, I live in Pocatello, Idaho, and I have an office inside of Elevate Fitness Pocatello, and it's a full operating gym. We've got group fitness, swimming, we've got strength training, personal trainers, and then
Love
I
it.
have a nutrition practice within. And so yeah, it's been a great place, wonderful hometown atmosphere. So
So
I
good.
love
And so anybody that's in Idaho, this is your girl. This is your girl. Well, I guess Idaho's a big state, but
yeah,
okay, that area. Now,
definitely.
the thing is though, you also have a virtual way that you support people. And I love that because you actually sent me a picture recently of a couple that was traveling, again, these busy people, and you were traveling and you were training them while you were traveling and they were traveling. And I just think I love your solution oriented mindset where it's like, we're not letting this stop us. We're still moving our body, and they did. And so you're open for and there's just I think a lot of trainers will say that they do that, but you really have perfected, I think, the whole virtual training concept. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about that.
Well, and it helps when your clients are up for it too. And I told him, I said, I'm going to be in a car, my husband driving, but I can tell you what to do. I can talk you through it because we've been working together long enough that we get each other. And it actually started with them years ago. Actually, during COVID, they said, would you please train us online? And so I was in my little, not little, I was in a storage room. It felt little because I had a lot of storage in there. And they said, I don't care. We don't care. And so I appreciate them for really pushing me because that was something I've been wanting to do. So I started training out of my storage room. And as
So
long as
good.
you are up for whatever, the situation environment is, it will work. And, I can also give exercises just to take a exercise tubing along with you, and you can still get a good workout with that. It is doable anywhere. And if you're traveling and have a hotel, you can always look for hotels that have, exercise equipment as well. But yeah, it doesn't take much, and we can still train online. I do it with nutrition as well as with personal training,
I
and
love it.
it's been amazing. This one particular client, he's 78 now, and he's had a couple of surgeries, and they are just the doctors and staff are just their minds are blown at how low his heart rate,
Uh,
not on blood pressure, and bouncing back. Like when he had his heart issues, they were like he was pushing the cart through the hospital going, I'm gonna go faster. And they were just in awe of him, and his recovery was amazing because he's
uh,
consistent.
that
So
so the messages I'm hearing from you, Nicole, and I think it's just such an important thing to for us to be reiterating. One is our mindset.
yeah.
And like I love that you were just like, I decided that I was not going to live with this person with this autoimmune disease and that it was going to be just debilitated. You made the decision. And so then it became who you had to be. And then I heard you talk about the busyness and recognizing that like we have this is a non-negotiable moving our body and strength training. Schedule it in, even if it's one time a week to start. And then I heard you say strength training, strength training, strength training, strength training. That has to be what we do. And then the last thing is you reminded me about no excuses. There's got to be a way to be able to do it, whether you're body squatting when your tea is boiling or you're working out in a hotel room that becomes your identity. And then you don't have the excuse. And showing up for our body and ourselves is just like how we have to show up for our kids and for our spouses, for our friends, and for our jobs. So this is so helpful in reminding me. And I think so many of our listeners. So, Nicolle, tell us how we can find you. People can follow you and learn more. You have a really great social media, and your heart is so big. I think you guys can hear it, right? They can hear it in her voice. You're just such a calm person, and you inspire me. You inspire others. So, how can we follow you?
Thank you, Carrie. I have a website. It is nicfitpro.com, nicfitpro.com. And then my Instagram handle is the same, nicfitpro. And I have a business page on Facebook, nicfitpro, or on fitness, another page, Nicolle Clay, as well on Facebook. So
Yeah. So, I mean, especially on the Instagram, to me, Nick Fit Pro, if you're in there or on Facebook. And then we'll just make sure follow her and we'll all be there watching you, learning from you. Nicolle, you are the best. Thank you so much for being here. And I know we'll be staying in touch. Hopefully, we'll hear more from you. We can do more stuff like this.
yes, awesome. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate
Thanks.
it.